No matter how much you invest in ads, tools, and new hires, I guarantee you leaving money, time, and potential on the table because you are not training the most critical growth lever you have, your own mind. And I'm not talking about journaling your way to success or faking confidence with empty affirmations. I'm talking about turning your mind into the most important asset, like all elite performers from every era are trained to do. And this matters because at the highest levels of business, the differentiator is not capital, IQ, or talent. Everyone's smart, everyone works hard, and everyone has resources. The real differentiator is having trained an elite mind that doesn't flinch, while everybody else leaks energy, attention, and time. An elite mind that doesn't get distracted. An elite mind that does not entertain limiting belief. An elite mind that consistently executes high leverage actions without ever getting doubtful, distracted, or burnout. And that is not wishful thinking. That's just what happens when you actually train it. But most people never do. And according to the US Bureau of Statistics, almost 90% of founders never scale past 6 figures. And that is not because they don't work hard. It's because their mind gives in under pressure. I'm Leo Castillo, founder of Selfmastered, invested in 39 founders, trained over 300 one-on-one from 100K solopreneurs to 30 million CEOs. And those who scale quickly don't have more ideas. They have mental leverage. They can execute on demand. They do not flinch when shit hits the fan. They work less, grow more, and stay in control. The rest are running billion-dollar potential into the ground. That's because they obsess over tool, tactics, and team, but the truth is, the real bottleneck in your business is you. And if you don't train it, you are leaking at every level. Let me show you how exactly this shows up. You can hire the best team, but you will mislead them if your thinking is scattered. You can run ads, but you'll blow your budget on emotional decisions. You can have the perfect strategy, but if you hesitate, procrastinate, and build when things get tough, it doesn't get executed. If your mind falls under pressure, your focus goes to distractions and doubts, not revenue. Think about the latest business setback. What really happened? Did the market suddenly change? Did the product become worthless instantly? Or you made bad decisions because you started second guessing yourself, making reactive decisions and spiraling into chaos. See, it's always the same pattern. Every founder who plateaus follows a pattern. External pressure ends up leading to internal chaos, which leads to poor decisions. Eventually, those compound into bad results, which leads to more pressure. That is a death spiral that starts in the mind. But founders with trained minds follow a different pattern. They are subject to the same external pressure, but they default to internal stability, which leads to clear decisions, which eventually compounds into better results and reduces the pressure. It's an upward spiral that starts with mental training. And if you don't train your mind to perform, everything else is just symptom management. This is what gurus will never tell you. Think about what is the precise ROI of training the mind. If you train clarity, you make decisions in minutes, not spiral for weeks. If you train discipline, you build momentum through consistent execution. If you train your nervous system, you turn stress into fuel, not friction. And if you train your identity, you eliminate sabotage before it happens. Most founders drop tens of thousands of dollars on ads, but the real unlock is making your mind perform 10 times better. Because when you do that, they just don't move faster. You make moves others cannot even see. It's the difference between piloting a fighter jet versus a broken down talk of productivity hacks. And this is not self-help, it's command under pressure. It's the ability to execute while others collapse. That is what makes the top 1% different. A 2008 Harvard Business Review article found that leaders with high emotional regulation, which is a performance training outcome, were 4 times more effective in decision making. And founders with metacognition are able to make 3 times better strategic decisions. What most people miss is that mental training doesn't just import direct performance. It multiplies the effectiveness of everything that you do. Your ads works better because you make better decisions. Your teams perform better because you lead better. Your strategy actually works because you execute it. And while everybody else is buying the same tools, hiring the same talent pool, and watching the same videos, you are building a competitive advantage they can't replicate. A trained mind that performs at elite levels under any condition. And this is not coaching repackaged, or therapy, or journaling, or some recycled morning routine from Instagram. This is mental reprogramming. And it's based on the development of 3 elite cognitive skills. First is self-awareness that helps you spot the patterns of your mind before they sabotage you. Two is metacognition, thinking about your thinking so you can change your default responses towards distractions and doubts. And finally, cybernetics, building feedback loops in the mind to make improvement automatic. When you train these together, they eliminate dysfunction at the source. You reward the patterns for peak performance and you accelerate momentum with actual visible proof. Most people think they're self-aware, but real self-awareness is being able to catch your mind in the act of sabotage. It's noticing, I'm about to procrastinate on this because I'm afraid of X. Instead of just finding yourself 3 hours later having research how to actually do it better, you do it. Metacognition is thinking about thinking. It's the ability to observe your thought patterns and consciously choose different ones. So you catch yourself thinking, what if this fails? And consciously shift to, how do I make this succeed? And finally, cybernetics is building automatic feedback loops. Like a thermostat that maintains temperature without your conscious input, you build mental systems that maintain peak performance with a constant effort. What this looks like in real life is that you set up automatic triggers that direct your attention when it drifts. And you install decision-making frameworks that eliminate analysis paralysis. And when you train these skills and you really get good at this, self-awareness strengthens your anterior cingulate cortex, which improves your attention. Metacognition enhances your prefrontal cortex, which boosts your ability to get things done. And cybernetics builds a stronger neural pathway between different brain regions, which leads to more efficient thinking. You literally rewire your brain for elite performance. But most people never do this work. Why? Because first of all, it is invisible, it requires introspection, it's been polluted by self-help noise and spiritual fluff, and it's not taught in school. But that is why it's so important, because if 99% of you ignore it and you know it works, when you master it, this is an unfair advantage that compounds daily. And this is not about good vibes, it's about making the right choices and executing every day under pressure. Most founders don't do this work, and also most founders fail. So don't be like most founders, be like elite founders and do exactly what they do. Train their minds for elite performance. Train your mind and you multiply everything. And in this day and age, mental leverage is not optional. It's the literal difference between building your business or getting buried by it. If you're serious about winning in business, you need to scale your capacity to handle it. And my invitation to you is to book your decoding session below. Every day you operate with an untrained mind is another day you are leaving millions on the table. Another day you're reinforcing neural pathways of mediocrity. Another day your trained competitors are pulling further away. But when you develop elite cognitive skills, you just don't become more productive. You literally become unstoppable because you train the one asset that multiplies everything else, your mind. Book your session below.